Now a first down throw. Luck. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Here's Luck now on second down. Throw left side is complete to Rodgers. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Now Luck. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop. A man down on the return. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on fourth down to punt this thing. Back deep, Bruce Ellington. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 18. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Reset. Hey.
On second down, here's Miller. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs, and we'll still get the first down." They love being physical.
They go play action here on first down. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Terrell Basham in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Big Al Woods there to make the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now Watson, flushed out right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line. Let them kick the field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
First down, Brissett. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
A first down carry now for Miller. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Tackle made there by Phillip Wheeler.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. First down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Back to throw, Watson. Now they go screen, it's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Well contained there defensively. The screen gets only a yard, and it's 4th. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And the Colts coming out now. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it to the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Brissett. Man open right side. It's Rodgers. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Brissett. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out.
Ohio, flex round.
Now Mack. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Third and short yardage, Brissett. And he's got his man Hilton. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The passing game for the Colts finding its stride, another first down. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Here's Mack. And he's got room. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal.
The reason that counter or misdirection plays work so well is that usually you've given them a reason to think that everything's going to the direction it starts initially. You've run that type of a play throughout the game. You've given them that look.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. A great play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Colts have tied things up. They can take the lead with the extra point. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT. And they take the lead here at 7-6. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. And now out comes Houston. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about.
And got his man complete. The 20, 10, touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his second touchdown on the season. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action, and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. They'll run with Mack. Oh, fighting off the defender. Oh, he's got some breathing room. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also move the sticks.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Check. Flag no. Flex round.
Brissett to throw on first. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And he'll be down at the 6-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect him.
And he fights his way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Texans will extend their lead. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
You always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Brissett. Going for Hilton, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kayvon Webster. And they're running right through it.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
After the interception, here's Watson. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Jabal Sheard in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Play action for Miller. Now Watson. He's going to fire one deep. Middle of the... This is caught at the 20. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A gain of 39 that time. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Watson hands this to Foreman, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Hey, back 22.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Escaping the pressure, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Terrell Basham in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? A carry for Foreman, and they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
So that's 3 field goals for him now, but heck, he's not even halfway to his career best of 7.
It seems like the 7 field goal games are the kind of games I always get assigned to in my other job. Let's hope for this offense's sake they can start cashing in on a few of these drives.
The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that. I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
A first down throw for Brissett. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Well, they were unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Now a carry from Mack. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Brissett sets to throw it. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Obviously, this has not been a bad.
There he hits the reliable target. Brissett on first down. Over the middle, it's caught by Rodgers. And he gets us one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Brissett going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Brissett now. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for Jack Doyle that time. And it's second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
To throw, Brissett. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Kayvon Webster. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right.
And I don't know if he made it out of the end zone. No signal. Yes, it's a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. Looking deep for Hilton. And that is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because What you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Throwing on third down, Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. Here's Foreman. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here's Watson. Rolling to his left. Now he's going to throw deep back over the middle. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Shane Leckler now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Here's Bissett. Throw left side complete. That's Doyle. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And they'll go on the ground. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Here's Brissett. Looking sideline, incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Brissett from the gun on third. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Returning here is Wright. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
In on the stop, Kevin Minter. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse And I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They run again with Foreman. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be brought down by the Colts.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They forced a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Now Watson. Buying time to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep. He's got a man. Complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. They'll run with Foreman. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Griffin. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Got a man, it's right. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now Foreman. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's Watson, option left. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. 3rd and long. It's Watson. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So with that, you figure a reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. DJ Reader continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
Flex round! Flex round!
2nd down, Brissett. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he's brought down all the way back in the end zone. My goodness, that's going to be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10, right at the 30. Back to throw, Watson. And that's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
One of the things I love about this game is there's a match of wits throughout the game. Who's going to get the advantage? Who's going to catch someone off guard? I feel like the offense thought they might catch the defense off balance with that play call, but unfortunately, that didn't work for them.
12 yards on the return that time, and out will come the offense as they take over. On 1st and 10, Brissett looking deep for Hilton. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a...
And, oh, it coughed it up. And the Texans scoop it.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Following the fumble recovery, Watson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to pick.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. So what again, symptomatic?
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off right around the 43 and to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Clayton Gathers makes the stop.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Again, it's Foreman. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. On-line, but off the crossbar, no good. A long-range effort denied 3 points at the very end. All things considered, a pretty good kick, just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck, and unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
Over the middle, complete. It's Rodgers. And they will finally catch him, but not before he gets it to the 11. A huge play that time for the Colts. And even 40 yards. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Oh, it's incomplete. That would have been big in the end zone if he could have held on. Instead, it's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. The Colts on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll throw again. Brissett. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. Now Brissett. And it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this Texans defense stands tall. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They'll start the drive with a give to Foreman. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
On the toss, here's Foreman. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Now, that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer.
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Past the 20. And he'll be taken down deep into Indianapolis territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. From the 3-yard line once more. Now here's 3rd and goal. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settle it, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Houston, it'll be a .500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash coming in. Come get your man, Slim Book of bugging me. Just see the bag, quit all that jaw jackery. Don't even be that, I don't want none of it. It's bad about it, had enough of it. Whoa, watch what you saying, how the poppin' is shaking. There's a laser, my posse deep and irate, and we act a fool for the paper. Had a dream and I made it. El Camino on Dayton's, bitches guess over bait. Put the bread on me. Big flat in the bacon. I might just roll out today. I might just roll out to Vegas, head back to my old ways. Cop a roof all day. Look at me, baby. Look at me, baby. Don't I look like a million? I'm about to clean out the safe. Don't I look like somebody that just be bodying everything on the talking?